Hi everyone, this is Rani for the Sattvic Method with today's podcast. Today's podcast is about the loneliness. That women encounter. The See, when we talk to our friends, what is the first thing we ask? How was your day? Everybody has the same story. We wake up so early in the morning. We are doing things. We are doing chores. We are doing our work. We are doing others' work. We are doing family work. We are doing so many things. End of the day, we say, I don't feel like connected with everybody. You feel isolated. Isolation is a growing issue, especially for women, because of the nuclear family, because of our social pressure, high demanding careers, and then the biggest issue right now is ever present digital, right? We always have our cell phones. Our uh, cell phones can now receive our emails from work. We are always connected to that, and then we miss out on what is happening in front of us. A lot of people experience dissonance, a disconnection between what is happening in their life and what they are consciously experiencing. So I will go into some of these five inspiring stories of women. These are my friends, and all their names are pseudonyms. And they have told me this story, and I've worked with them or I have spoken to them at one time or the other. And I have used what we call as mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of focusing on the current moment. Whatever is happening now is the best thing. They say in Sanskrit, there is a saying, the best auspicious moment is now. So, this mindfulness is a practice of focusing on the present moment without any judgment of who you were, who you are, who you can be, what happened in the past, what might happen in the future, what is happening now. But mindfulness, when you are in the moment, in the now, it gives you clarity on what you need to focus to combat isolation, to feel that feeling of loneliness, and how to foster the expansion and build connections. So, let me tell you some of the case studies or share stories, as we call them, of people who helped, who took mindfulness as a method to walk out of their loneliness, of their isolation. There was one busy mother. Let's call her Sarah. She has three young kids, and she herself is still going to school, and her husband is working full time. So she has to juggle the child care, and she was constantly feeling that she was disconnected from the world around her. Her whole world was diapers, bottle, clinics, um, what do you call those, play dates. What can this kid eat? Have they slept? Have they pooped? The whole world was revolving around that. She just felt, I need to get out of myself for 10 minutes, at least for 10 minutes. So, what she did was she decided she would do a mindful practice, and I'll share that with you now. Every morning, as soon as she woke up, she would go run around, check on all the kids because she woke up very early and making sure everybody is safe. She would then brush her teeth and then sit down for the next 10, 15 some days even 20 minutes. All that she would do is breathe in and say, I am happy. Breathe out and say, I am powerful. I am happy. I am powerful. I am happy. I am powerful. In this 10, even if she could do it for 10 minutes, this empowered her so much that she could reconnect with herself, and she was able to approach her motherhood with lot of insight and patience, because she had that calmness now within her, and she knew that she could use this whenever she needed to. Let me give you the example of another introvert entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship means you have to talk to people, you have to meet people, you don't know what you're going to encounter the next minute. You're building everything as you go. So here is an introverted entrepreneur. Let's call her Maya. She's very successful. She's high achiever. And mindfulness actually helps her to overcome social anxiety, because she is always in her brain. She's always thinking her world is there. And she actually was able to overcome this with a simple mindfulness meditation. What she did was, you can follow this if you wish. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and she said, let me connect with my eyes, with my nose, with my mouth, with my heart, with my stomach, with my hands, with my legs, with my ears, and any other part of the body you wish to connect to. After establishing that connection, she said, now I will expand into the room that I'm sitting in. Now I will expand into the building that I'm sitting in. Now I will expand into the neighborhood that I'm sitting in. So, depending on her stress level, she would stop either at the building or she would go all the way to around the world. And she joined this small group, um, and she also began to host these meetups. And she soon built a very thriving community of like minded women, finding that connection, and they shared this practice of expanding and connecting so they would not experience this social anxiety. Mindfulness again helped her. Sometimes a lot of us are trapped in what we call as perfectionism. We want everything to be perfect. We are willing to work 24/7, 365, whatever it takes to get it perfect. Chloe was one such person. It's a pseudonym. She always was more self critical than anybody else around her. So Chloe developed self compassion through the mindfulness meditation. So the meditation she used is, she sat very calmly as she could, especially when she started a project. She would just sit as calmly as she could, and she would visualize that in front of her there are people who are sitting, who are giving her this self criticism, her inner critic. She brought it out and let them sit out there while she enjoyed being herself for some time. That's all she did. She just said, you sit out from me for some time. I want to enjoy myself for some time. 20, 30 minutes. Some days she would do it for 1 hour. But at the end of it, she always felt, I can do amazing things. Wow, I didn't know I could do all these things. That is an amazing story. It could be you, and you could be transformed by this mindfulness approach. Then there is this digital nomad. Let's call her Emily. She never felt connected to any place, any person, anything, any job. I mean, her resume would look like 25 pages long because she's worked in every industry you can think of. She's been a doctor, a doctor's aide, she's been a nurse, she has been she's done every industry you can think of, she's worked there. But she never felt rooted with anything. She always felt a disconnect. For her, it was like, when will this end? What is going to cause this end? What should I be aware of? What are the signs? Right? So, when she started talking to me, one of the things I suggested to her was probably not worry about her sense of rootlessness, her disjunct disconnection with both the society, people, places. She couldn't relate to anything, but she could relate to one thing, and that was she felt happy with her achievements. So, suggested, let's begin by journaling your gratitude. Why don't you can't sit, you can't meditate, your mind is too busy. Why don't you just journal your gratitude? That gratitude can be as simple as, I'm thankful that the flower that person gave me, or the flower that I smelled, or the person smiled at me, or I held this door open and this kid came and hugged me. All these spontaneous moments that happen in your life, which we probably will overlook. We probably just say, oh, that just happens, it's random. But when you are mindful, all those things are threading connections. So you feel the connection with people around you, with things around you, and you begin to appreciate when you see the flower, you begin to appreciate the beauty. Then Emily also joined these mindfulness communities, and then she began to find a sense of belonging, not to a place, not to a person, not to a group, but with herself. She found that she could connect with herself deeply, and that's why she practices mindfulness. That's how mindfulness helped her to overcome isolation. And I'll end with this last story, the story of Maria. I'll call her Maria, and I will call her as she's a CEO, or you could say she's a vice president in a big organization, having a large team. Mindfulness helped her to develop one thing that she really, everybody said she lacked, and she could feel that, and that is emotional intelligence. She did not have the deep emotional intelligence and empathy that allowed her to connect with people in her team in a deeper level. It's not about you do this job, you do that job, and okay, I will evaluate you and I will say you're doing good, you're not doing good. It's not about that. Our relationships are much more richer than that. She began to understand that when you connect with a human being, you're actually connecting with their souls. You're connecting with their life. You're connecting with what matters to them. Even if they're working for money, even if they're working with you, what matters to them is still important. So she started mindfulness practice. She started following these mindfulness practices before meetings. She would sit down and she would say to her heart, she would talk to her heart and say, today we are going to be opening and welcoming all those people into our hearts. Let us open the doors and welcome them into our heart. That was a gratitude meditation she practiced as an expansion, and her mindfulness practice helped her to actually foster deeper collaborations at work, and she was able to develop a more supportive culture where everybody felt that they were seen, they were heard, they were valued, and they were recognized for whatever they contributed. These are just few examples of how mindfulness can empower women to break free from isolation and connect with others, because women need these social bondings, women need these social connections to thrive. You want to build a meaningful life, you want to know what you're contributing to your society. Anybody you ask, if they say I'm doing something useful, I feel proud of what I'm doing, I feel connected to what I'm doing, then they will be telling you who it is impacting. So, mindfulness, so many different ways, like I explained, five different methods in which mindfulness connection was there. But there are so many different ways in which you cultivate this moment to moment awareness. It leads to a sense of deep sense of compassion. It leads to a deep sense of connection. It also leads to a deep sense of fulfillment. When you are able to talk to people, when you're able to deliver it to people, when you're able to feel that, hey, I am contributing to something to someone. Ultimately, what every human being wants to do is to contribute, is to feel valued, is to feel that they have done something successful in their life. The truth is, today we become so dependent on the digital world. We are so dependent on the digital world, we are not able to cut ourselves from it. Isn't that the irony of it? We have this digital world and we would think, oh, because I have this, I should be better connected with people. But actually, the opposite is happening because of the way we connect in the social media, because of this instant sense of gratification. People are no longer thoughtful. People are no longer taking time to write the cards, which you can keep in front of you and then you can look at it for months after and say, wow, lovely, I got a card from my friend. We no longer do that. Gifts. How many of us are now receiving gifts by email? You just get an Amazon cards. Go and pick whatever you want. Nobody even takes time to go put in some thought. What would this person like? What can I buy for this person? So there is really no joy in opening every gift and being surprised by it. So all that is lost because we no longer want to take that responsibility. The isolation is also caused by shame. What do you mean you can't manage this? You can't do even this simple thing? Shame. When you feel shamed, you feel that huge sense of load that accompanies the shame. And because of that, you feel, oh my God, I'm not I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Why am I feeling this isolation? You will feel fulfilled when you feel connected. End of the day, you will feel very connected. You will feel very fulfilled when you say, oh, I'm connected to this. I am in connection with them. I am constantly in connection with these people. Or I'm connected to my audience. Whatever connects you, that is what will keep you alive. Everybody does not feel the same kind of connection. Let me give you an example. I went with three of my good friends to a restaurant. There was a new vegan restaurant. So we said, let's go there. And when we went there, one of my friends' interest is looking at the decor. She was like, oh, look at the way they've decorated this place and look at the ambience and all that stuff. Another friend, she was more concerned about the uh, goodies they were selling. there were a lot of things around there. And she was looking at it and she said, "Oh, these are the goodies. Let me see what comes out of these goodies. What are the things I can take?" And then I was looking at the menu and asking them, "Hey, what do you want to order? I'm hungry. Let's eat." Right? Some people, when you go to the menu, they're looking at the right hand column to see what does it cost before they even look at the left side to see what's on the menu. So everyone approaches this in a different way. There is no right or wrong in it. What we value or what we perceive as what we don't have makes us work towards it. And in that process, we feel isolated from everything else because of this stress that is associated with, I have to do this, I can do this, this person did this, so I can do it. That is the biggest issue that we are facing. Social media, a lot of kids are facing this pressure because they feel, oh, this person did it, I can do this. This person did it, I should also be able to do it. No, that's not the case. Always, mindfulness allows us to connect in a way that tells us, hey, you are on your journey. Your journey is unique to you. You are on a beautiful journey. That journey is unique to you. And being in that journey, being in that unique journey is really helpful for many reasons. The first reason is, of course, you feel that fulfillment. Let's say you haven't met a friend for a long time, and then you meet the friend, you talk to her. What is the first thing you tell her? It feels like we didn't even part. We've been talking without a break for such a long time. We didn't feel any disconnect between us. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that wonderful? You feel that connection. The moment you feel that connection, that sense of isolation completely leaves you. That connection, that human connection, is what women look for. Sometimes we are lucky to have colleagues with whom we can sometimes have a good conversation, but we cannot expect that at work. So I encourage you all to join these mindfulness meditation sessions. We offer meditations. Please join our programs so we can help you, guide you, and provide you with more information in a very constructive manner. It will change your life, even if it is for 20 minutes. Even if you can say, today is super busy, I can only do 10 minutes. I can tell you, it will change your life. Why does mindfulness change our life? Mindfulness changes our life because it stops us from attaching our past to the present and our present to the future. I'll repeat. Mindfulness stops us from attaching our present to the past and our present to the future. So, usually, what do we think? If you're going to drink a cup of coffee, what are you thinking? Oh, the first cup of coffee I had was in Seattle. That that place where Starbucks was born. That's where I had it. And that tasted like this. Oh, you go down that memory lane. You're already in the past. Suddenly you're in the future. I don't know how much long can I drink this frappuccino, or let's say you're traveling, immediately you're thinking, do you think I will get um, cappuccino in whichever place I'm going? Mindfulness breaks these two, so you don't have the guilt of the past and stress of the future. So what is there in front of you is beautiful present moment, which you can so totally enjoy. You will just be like, wow, this whole thing, this whole moment is mine. This whole experience is mine. You will own it. That is why mindfulness is so powerful. And everybody should at least do it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't matter what your age is. If you're teenagers, if you're adults, if you're senior citizens, if you are an experienced CEO, none of the labels, tags, achievements, nothing matters when it comes to mindfulness. My Guruji, he tells us that it is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the ability to be in now without taking anything from the past, without taking anything into the future, but being in now is celebrated as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Think about this because this is such a powerful tool. This is so easy to use. We also offer courses that you can join. I'll make a video about all the courses we offer. Please feel free to join. Our courses are very stress less, so women can enjoy them. And I want to reach out and create this safe haven for women so they can feel connected, they can go on connecting, they can go on interacting, and they will feel that they are able to blossom in one place. Isn't that amazing? Don't we all need that place? The moment you feel you're blossoming in a place, you become connected, you invest in it emotionally, you learn from it, you mature into it. Why do I use the word mature? Because then you will not feel the disappointment, you will not go around complaining, I don't trust these people. Those kind of issues will not come up. Think about these very simple techniques. You can just write a gratitude journal every day. 5, 1, 3 surprising things that happened to you today. Totally unexpected. Somebody called you. Oh, what a joy. Totally unexpected. Somebody sent you a book. Wow, even more wonderful. Totally unexpected. Somebody gifted you with a plant. Totally unexpected. Somebody sent you a link to a webinar. And you go like, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. How did you know? When you're in that space of now, your life just explodes. It just expands and it keeps on growing. It is not an expansion that has a limitation. We set the limitation to it, not the mind. Because the mind wants to be free of itself. It wants to become mindlessness. Mindfulness leads to mindlessness. It is a paradox, right? We are so connected. We use our mind every day for everything. But if we want peace, we should disconnect from it. It's like this. You're so dependent on your cell phone. But if you want to have a good night's sleep, you're going to switch it off and you're going to say, thank you, bye bye, I love you, I appreciate you, but now it's time to sleep. Same way, mindfulness allows us to disconnect all the guilt that we are carrying, all the pressure, all the thoughts of failures that we are carrying, and even worrying about the future. Oh my God, I don't know how my future will be. It doesn't mean you shouldn't plan for it. It doesn't mean you should not work for it. You should do all those things, but you should be relaxed about it. You should not guilt trip you. You should not put unnecessary pressure on yourself. A community can help you in all those things. And that's what Sattvic method is trying to do. It's building a community, a safe space for women where they can express, where they can grow, and where they can explore and explode in this mindfulness. What do you think about this? Does it make a sense to you? Please chat. Let me know what you think about this. And I welcome you all to subscribe to our channel. Please visit our website, thesatvikmethodcompany.com, and subscribe to our newsletter. And we have a lot of resources there, free resources and paid resources. We have books. We are here to help you, support you, and guide you. Please let me know your thoughts about this and what other comments you have, what other things you want to share, and how you would like to grow. And we are happy to support you in that process. Thank you. I will see you again next week. Bye bye.